When you picture a caregiver, a certain image probably pops into your head, right? Someone strong, selfless, just endlessly capable. A hero, basically. But in today's explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on that image and look at a reality that is so often kept hidden from view.
So let's build that familiar portrait. First, you see her as this pillar in her community. She's actually running a support group, offering a steady hand to everyone else. On top of that, she's a master of logistics. We're talking about managing incredibly complex therapy schedules. That's a huge mental load, something that takes constant planning and organization.
And at home? Well, this isn't just a 9-to-5 job. It's a 24/7 role where she's also juggling the needs of 3 kids. So from the outside looking in, she is absolutely holding it all together.
But then, this. When the day is done and the curtain falls, away from the world she so capably supports, this is the reality. A stark, painful, and completely silent struggle that tells a whole different story. And that jarring contrast, that whiplash between the public face and the private pain, that's not just one person's story. It actually represents a much larger and often totally invisible crisis that affects so many people who dedicate their lives to caring for others.
This really deep state of exhaustion, it goes way beyond just feeling tired or a little stressed out. And the source material we're looking at gives it a very specific name.
It's called caregiver burnout. And this definition is so important. It points to a total exhaustion on every single level. We're talking emotional, physical, and mental. But look at the key words here: prolonged and unacknowledged. This isn't a sudden thing. It's a slow drain that happens over a long, long time, often without anyone even recognizing it's happening. And this just gets right to the heart of it. Because caregiving is, at its core, an act of love. But as this hashtag suggests, hashtag behind the scenes of love, there's often this hidden script of pure exhaustion and pain, playing out long after the audience has gone home.
Okay, so this brings us to a really key question about how we as a society usually respond. We see the effort, we see the love, and we applaud, right? But while that's well-intentioned, that applause often misses the entire point.
See, applause is just a moment. It's a temporary gesture. Burnout, though, isn't a momentary problem. It's a chronic condition. And you simply cannot solve a chronic condition with a round of applause.
This slide just breaks down that difference perfectly. On one side, you have applause. It's temporary, it can feel a bit performative, and it recognizes the labor. But on the other side, you have lifespan support. That's sustained, it's practical, and most importantly, it recognizes the person behind all that labor. So if applause isn't the answer, then what is? Well, the source proposes a completely new way of looking at this. It's a call to rethink how we provide support, right from the ground up.
And this is the phrase that changes everything: lifespan support. That's not a single program or a thank you card. It's a fundamental shift in our mindset, a commitment that's designed to last as long as the caregiving itself.
Of course, that sounds amazing in theory, but what does that actually look like, in practice? What does deep, sustained support really involve on a day-to-day basis?
The source breaks it down into 4 really clear, actionable steps. First, you have to just acknowledge that the burnout is real. Step 2, provide practical, real-world relief, like respite care. Then you foster mental health through things like therapy and support groups. And finally, the most important part, you commit to this for the long haul. This idea of hashtag long-term support, it's so much more than a hashtag. It is the absolute essence of the solution. It's all about building a durable, reliable safety net instead of just offering a temporary pat on the back.
So let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. What have we learned? Well, we've seen that a caregiver's incredible strength often hides a really private struggle. We know that our typical applause just isn't enough to fix this crisis. And we see that the real answer requires a major shift towards sustained, practical support. Ultimately, this whole journey is about moving from simply appreciating the act of care to actively supporting the human being who is providing it.
And that leaves us with this final, really vital question. And it's not about pointing fingers or placing blame. It's about all of us, our collective responsibility. If caring for one another is one of the highest expressions of love we have, then what is our role in making sure the people on the front lines of that love don't end up burning out in silence?